it's Valerie of Reads and welcome to another video. Today I thought I would take you through every single book that is on my physical TBR. So these books I've been stockpiling for years. I think I have about 80 books that I own that are unread, and a lot of them are just stashed away in my closet since I don't have space to display them anymore. So this is the first time these books are seeing sunlight in the past few months. So here they are. Here is every single book that I have that is unread, and I've split them into categories of classics, modern classics, general modern fiction, as well as short stories and non-fiction, and I'll be letting you know which authors I've read books from previously, and then I'll move on to books from authors that I've never read before. So let's start off with the classics. First up is an author I've read 2 books from before, and those were Northanger Abbey and Pride and Prejudice. Of course, it's Jane Austen, and from her I have The Beautiful Cassandra, Persuasion, Sense and Sensibility, and Emma, which I have been in the middle of for the better part of a year, and I don't know when I'll finish this. I hope to do it this year. I hope to give it another shot. I really liked it, but I just am finding it really long because it is very long. And the rest of these books are from authors that I've never read from before. The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov, translated by Richard Pavere and Larissa Volokhonsky. The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. Notes from Underground by Fyodor Dostoevsky, translated also by Richard Pavere and Larissa Volokhonsky. The Trial by Franz Kafka, translated by Breon Mitchell. This beautiful box set of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll. Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Dubliners by James Joyce. Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. Daisy Miller and the Turn of the Screw, both by Henry James. The Awakening by Kate Chopin. And finally, finishing off the classics, this is Dracula by Bram Stoker. Now let's move on to the modern classics. So here are the modern classics from authors I have read from previously. Mr. Norris Changes Trains, The World in the Evening, and A Meeting by the River, all by Christopher Isherwood. The Violent Bear It Away by Flannery O'Connor. Orlando, A Room of One's Own, and Between the Acts, all by Virginia Woolf. Voyage in the Dark by Jean Rhys. Another Country by James Baldwin. The Pearl and The Grapes of Wrath, both by John Steinbeck. Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. Keep the Aspidistra Flying by George Orwell. Morris by E.M. Forster. Trouble with Lichen, The Kraken Wakes, and The Seeds of Time, all by John Wyndham. Mwah. I love that man. And finally, for the authors that I'm familiar with, this is My Cousin Rachel and Jamaica Inn, both by Daphne du Maurier. Moving on, here are the modern classics from authors that I am not familiar with yet. So this is The Man in the High Castle, as well as Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, both by Philip K. Dick. Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Susan. Mildred Pierce by James M. Cain. Play It As It Lays by Joan Didion. Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Fifth Business by Robertson Davies. The Makioka Sisters by Junichiro Tanizaki. And finally, Stoner by John Williams. And before I show you my unread modern novels, I thought I would show off my very, very small and pathetic nonfiction and short story collection. So starting off with the short stories, I have The Lottery and Other Stories by Shirley Jackson, who I'm very familiar with. And then my only other short story collection, this is A Manual for Cleaning Women by Lucia Berlin. Moving on to nonfiction, I have Raising Demons by Shirley Jackson, The Psychopath Test by John Ronson, In Cold Blood by Truman Capote, Stiff by Mary Roach, which I've been halfway through for the past few months as well. I kind of gave up on this one because it's just fun to dip into every once in a while. I also have Spook by Mary Roach, and finally The Liars Club by Mary Carr. And finally, we can move on to modern novels, of course, starting off with the ones from authors that I've read from before. What a Carve Up by Jonathan Coe. No One Is Here Except All of Us by Ramona Azubel. Man by Kim Thuy. The Accidental by Ali Smith. Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Dance 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 by Haruki Murakami. The Autograph Man by Zadie Smith. The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. The Marriage Plot by Jeffrey Eugenides. And 3 books by Toni Morrison. I have Beloved, Song of Solomon, and The Bluest Eye. Honestly, I'm terrified to read this because I know they're gonna break my heart and my soul and my life, and I don't often willingly put myself through that sort of thing, so I'm very scared to read these. But if any of these are your favorite and I need to read them, please let me know. But like, yeah, I'm terrified of Toni Morrison at this point. And the last section here are books from modern authors that I haven't read from before. Touch by Alexi Zentner, Geek Love by Catherine Dunn, Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg, Out by Natsuo Kirino, The Blue Flower by Penelope Fitzgerald, Olive Kittredge by Elizabeth Strout, The Hours by Michael Cunningham, Foxlow by Eleanor Wasserberg, Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, Gilead by Marilyn Robinson, and finally, The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld. So those were all of my unread books. If you spotted any of your favorites in here, or if there was anything that you think I'll especially love, please let me know down in the comments. And if there's anything that you think isn't worth my time, let me know that as well. I'd be happy to do a little unhaul because this is a little overwhelming now that these are all surrounding me. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Okay, bye!